Coming soon, Toxic Towns. Brought to you by the UK Government and the Stove Industry Association, supported by Ecodesign and Ready to Burn. Also features toxic cities and villages. In this video, I will explain why the UK Future Home Standard should definitely not include wood-burning stoves, and why replacing fireplaces and older stoves with modern Ecodesign stoves will not improve air quality anywhere near as much as phasing out domestic wood-burning. In April 2025, the SIA released information they had received from the Ministry of Housing, Communities and Local Government regarding the Future Home Standard. Quoting the Government Ministry with "Under the standards proposed in the consultation, a wood-burning stove would be permitted as a secondary heating source in new homes." The decision to ban gas boilers in new homes, but allow wood-burning stoves, doesn't make any sense. I'll show you why with data from the National Atmospheric Emissions Inventory, which is used by DEFRA. A report of emission factors for domestic solid fuels, called Work Package 3, which was prepared for DEFRA, and the Digest of UK Energy Statistics. So all the data is from UK government sources. Looking at the PM2.5 emissions data from 1970 to 2023, this is road transport. Then we have power stations. Included in the power stations total is how much PM2.5 is from power stations burning natural gas. And then from 1990 onwards, this is the emissions from domestic gas boilers. Then there's fireplaces and all stoves burning all types of fuel. The stove industry and DEFRA always recommends using ready-to-burn wood on modern stoves. In the NAEI data, this is classified as wood dry, wood seasoned and wood briquettes. This is the PM2.5 emissions for Ecodesign stoves burning this kind of wood from 2017 onwards, when Ecodesign stoves were introduced. For the rest of this video, when I say Ecodesign, I'm referring to Ecodesign stoves using just the ready-to-burn wood. The PM2.5 emissions for Ecodesign doesn't look very high, does it? Let's take a closer look at the emissions in recent years from Ecodesign compared to power stations and gas boilers. It's clear how much PM2.5 from power stations has reduced since 2017. Ecodesign doesn't look too bad, but it does look like it will rise above power stations in a few years. And note that since 2020, Ecodesign is above gas boilers and power stations using natural gas. To properly compare gas boilers against wood-burning stoves, we could look at the number of appliances. There are nearly 1 million Ecodesign stoves, just over 2 million fireplaces and older stoves, over 20 million gas boilers, and over 40 million road vehicles. However, it's easier to compare how much energy we get from each of these sources, as we could include the fuel that is used. I've used the emission factors from the DEFRA Work Package 3 report to work out the activity data for fireplaces and stoves from 2017 to 2023. It's in terajoules, which is a unit of energy. So this is the total for fireplaces and stoves using all fuels. Of that total, this is just Ecodesign using the ready-to-burn wood. There is a number for Ecodesign in 2017, but it's so low it can't be seen. Now let's compare it to the activity data for gas boilers, using the activity data released last year by the NAEI. But first I have to move the graph back and widen the columns. I haven't changed the relative heights at all. Whereas fireplaces and all stoves is around 50,000 terajoules, gas boilers are nearly 1 million. And if I remove gas boilers, I can show power stations. I've used the NAEI data and Duke's data for these figures. I don't have the figures for some categories, but this is worth 96.5% of the PM2.5 emission total. I'm only missing 3.5%. The real figure will be higher. This does include wood-burning power stations, so Drax is in here. Wind, solar and hydro is in here too. I can show how much of that energy is from power stations burning natural gas. You can see that the majority of power is generated from gas every year. And moving the columns back again, here's road transport, which is nearer to 2 million. Let's have a look at 2023 in more detail. All fireplaces and stoves provided nearly 57,000 terajoules. The amount of energy from Ecodesign was only 6,000. Gas boilers was over 700,000. Power stations was over 1.1 million. And road transport was nearly 1.7 million. So comparing the amount of energy we get from gas boilers against Ecodesign, it's 111 times more energy from gas boilers. And it's 181 times more energy from power stations. We get a lot more heat from gas boilers compared to Ecodesign. Let's concentrate on comparing Ecodesign with gas boilers, so I'll just remove road transport. Looking back at the PM2.5 emissions graph, we can add more context. I'll just zoom in to 2021 to 2023. The stove industry never compared modern stoves to gas boilers. Let's do that now. Gas boilers is 0.155 kilotons. The figure for PM2.5 emissions for 2023 for Ecodesign is 0.674 kilotons. The total for all fireplaces and stoves is off the chart at 9.794. So that's over 4 times more PM2.5 emissions from Ecodesign compared to gas boilers, when we get over 100 times the amount of energy. Let's imagine that in 2023 we totally stopped using Ecodesign stoves fueled by ready-to-burn wood for heat and used gas boilers instead. The PM2.5 emissions for gas boilers would go from 0.155 to 0.156 kilotons. So that's a reduction of 2/3 of a kiloton of PM2.5. And if we had swapped all fireplaces and stoves for gas boilers in 2023, then it would go to 0.168 kilotons. And that's still lower than the 2021 gas boiler emission figure of 0.210. This is why it doesn't make any sense to ban gas boilers, but allow wood-burning stoves. I think it's clear that allowing wood-burning stoves in the future home standard will only create toxic towns, cities and villages. The SIA and stove manufacturers are always saying we should swap fireplaces and old stoves for the modern Ecodesign stoves. Let's reset the graph and do the calculation if that had happened in 2023. It would be 6 kilotons of PM2.5. I have to change the graph scale to show that. That's 39 times more PM2.5 pollution than gas boilers, when gas boilers would provide 12 times more energy than Ecodesign. It's 6.7 times the PM2.5 pollution for more power stations, when power stations would provide at least 20 times more energy than Ecodesign. And remember, that's only replacing all of the current existing stoves and fireplaces. It's not new installations. If new stoves are installed where a house didn't have one, like the future home standard allows, then PM2.5 will rise even more. Why do the Stove Industry Association, stove manufacturers and stove installers want to poison the UK population? And just to show how much more polluting Ecodesign are than gas boilers, imagine that we swapped all gas boilers for Ecodesign in 2023. Here's the calculation. How much PM2.5 do you think would be produced? One clue is that I have to change the graph scale, and here's how the graph would change. Yes, it would be 80 kilotons of PM2.5. 4.5 times more than road transport. These figures show that gas boilers emit much less PM2.5 pollution than Ecodesign stoves. Electric heating is better for reducing pollution, especially using a heat pump, which is at least 300% efficient. And it would be even better if it was using renewable energy. If gas boilers are banned in the future home standard, then wood-burning stoves in new builds should be banned as well. I've only shown PM2.5 emissions. The next video will look at other emissions, including greenhouse gases. I'll show why we won't just have toxic towns, we will also have a toxic world. The YouTube description contains links to my spreadsheets to show the calculations I used. I'm sure I've made a mistake somewhere, so please feel free to let me know when you find one. Thanks for watching.